and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does everybody like that big flag at Patriot Stadium yesterday? Okay, right away, our agenda. Where the heck did our agenda?
On the other side of your...
Oh,
There
boy,
it
got
is.
a fishing.
Fancy.
Yeah. Okay, very simple agenda. First, the minutes. Why don't we act on the minutes? Has everybody had a chance to check out the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of Wednesday, January 11th.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second, okay. Anybody have any omissions? Anything they want to add? Okay, all those in favor of accepting the minutes?
Hold on,
Yep.
just under general
going.
update, going down 1, 2, 3, 4, the 6th line there, there's just some errors in the spelling, Matt's name and Bob's.
Which line is
Matt
it?
K, so under the general update.
6 lines down on the general update.
Yep, Matt. Okay, what were we changing that to?
So it's Matt K, K-A-Y-E, and Bob Grisb, G-R-Z-Y-B.
Yeah, they're spelled right on B on the back page.
Yeah,
Okay,
and up above, but they had it wrong.
so we'll amend that so that we correct the spelling. Okay? Anybody else, anything? All those in favor of accepting the minutes as amended, say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous, Kelly?
I abstain.
Okay.
I abstain.
Okay,
Heather and I abstained as well. I was not present.
well, unanimous doesn't necessarily mean you.
Okay.
It means unanimous means of the people that could vote is unanimous.
I know.
Okay, the minutes, tonight, we're hearing from HMFH on the exterior finishes, and then any new business. Okay? Okay, onward. Matt, you're on board.
Evening. So we met last week and we looked at the exterior finishes, the block colors, metal panel colors, the window colors, the zinc color, and I think we had agreement on everything except the window color. And at that time, we showed multiple colors and a few different options about how to use multiple colors on the windows. And these were proposed for just the operable portion of the windows, where we had this silvery gray color for the entire window frame. So we had some primary, brighter colors for the operable portions of windows. And the concern there was that given all of the things that are going on the exterior, the patterning, especially with the CMU of the classroom wings, and the multiple massing forms on the front, that it was a lot to take in to have that extra layer of variety within that, all that other stuff. So we said we'd come back and we'd give another try at the window colors today. And so that's what we're really here to talk about. And, so as we sat down and kind of thought about this, and I told you last time that I was in agreement with the general consensus that was here that it was unnecessary, another layer of stuff going on. That as we sat down to look at it, what was really important was the use of color in helping to identify the important points of entry in the building. So we've gone back, now we're proposing that the windows are one uniform color, so it's this color for the entire frame, including the operable portion, throughout the project. And then we would restrict the highlight color to the entry doors themselves. And so these are full glass entry doors that have a stile and rail frame around them. And you can see that looks like here. So where it's intended that you're entering a portion of the building, whether it's the front entrance, the back entrances, the gym, pre-K entrances, those places, this color is kind of the highlight to help identify those. We're also using it in the signage, so another way to kind of pull that out. We have a main building sign on the front of the building. At the back, on each wing entrance where the students enter from their bus, there's a sign identifying each of the 3 doorways. So there's door A, B, and C. That will also be in that highlight color. And I think it's a color that we carefully chose to help go along with the other colors that are used on the exterior, especially the zinc and the metal panel, the horizontal metal panel, which you can see here. It's a color that complements those quite well. So that's the gist of our proposal. It's, I think, simplified, very straightforward, and hopefully it's in line with what people were thinking. As we get into the interior colors in the next round, there'll be an opportunity to kind of extend that and play off of that on the interior as well. So, any questions?
Somebody?
The only comment I have is that red is very red, as opposed to what I think represents everything
You mean-
in cranberry. Yeah,
I
You
agree.
mean this, Jim?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand the reasoning, I do, for what you're doing with it. I just don't think it represents that.
Now, are you calling that maroon? Like, is your belief, so your belief is that's red?
Yeah.
Because that looks red to me. So I was just, okay.
And as I talked about last time, and I showed a collage of colors of the landscape in this area, that, what you think of as cranberry red is a very specific instance, time of the year, and type of color that happens. And there's really a whole range of colors when it comes to the landscape here, including the actual cranberry plants themselves. And it's important to understand that color selection doesn't just happen in a void. Like, you have a building and then you have some other color and you just pull it out of nowhere. It's important from HMFH's standpoint in our process of color selection that you do it in a way that the colors work together. And while you may wish that there was a darker kind of more burgundy color to the red, it doesn't have the same, I want to say, harmony with the other colors on the facade as we looked at it in our office. And that's why we're really strongly have an affinity to the color that we're proposing here today. I understand it may not be the cranberry red symbolic color that we want, but it's more important to me that it works as a palette together.
The color on your tile in front of you there looks a little more like what I would consider cranberry red than the red on the front door. It looks darker on those pictures.
Some of it has to do with that it's shown in a shadow, so it takes on a darker shade. But it's all the same shade throughout, so you can even see it here. When the shadow is falling across the door, you see the
Does
brighter-
James, does that red look better than the other red on the drawings?
Well, I guess the point to me, Dick, and I'm putting it out there for the committee, I'm not making the decision, but it's red, ultimately, is what I'm saying. So I think when you think of our school uniforms and you think of this town and you think of what we have, it's not red, it's cranberry. It's a different color red, it's a different hue. And for me to represent the schools and the community that way, it should kind of follow suit with that. But as I said, I do understand what you're saying with the contrast, or lack of contrast, I guess would be what it would create. I'm just putting it out there because
I would rather have
talk
us
about it.
call it cranberry. I mean, when we're discussing and the people in town, oh yeah, it's red. No, that's cranberry.
Just to clarify, James, this is the actual
color,
as
yeah.
opposed to what we've approximated the best we can do in the rendering.
Yep.
Anybody else comments?
I'm gonna just get up and look a little closer on it, because I'd like to see just how much of that red there is going to be throughout the buildings. When the front is here, as you pointed out earlier, and then in the back on all of the doors.
Oh, the entries.
And that'll be the cover color of Carver, right in the front, correct?
The sign.
The sign will be that color.
Yep.
So we'll have a red Carver sign.
No,
One
cranberry.
door that this view did,
I look crazy calling that cranberry.
one door that this view doesn't really capture, which is a somewhat important door, is around the corner in here.
By the gym.
And that's the gym pre-K door. That will be, of course, the same color. So you're picking it up here at the pre-K doors, which the students go in and out of to get to recess. Around the end of the building is where you have the other doors, which bring you in the end of each wing. And then in the termination of each courtyard, there's one door to bring you in there too, so those will be the same. So it's not a whole lot of locations where this is happening. It's pretty limited and focused. And that's why we think that going with the single color, in this case the cranberry red, makes sense as opposed to having, you know, one color signifying door A and another color signifying door B and another for door C. There's just not enough occurrences of them for it to feel like it was intentional and happens throughout the project.
I honestly think this is a great solution to what was put out there last time we met. I think this
Yeah,
is, you
I
did a
think-
great job
Agreed,
making it more
definitely.
what everyone wanted to see.
I think Matt definitely took our comments from last time and nailed it in terms of kind of honing in on what we were looking for, simplifying. I actually think the red pops enough for that, you know, it really stands out.
Yep.
I mean, the idea too is to, you know, have these kids that are out at recess be able to find their way back to their classroom or wing or whatever. So I think that it works. I think the colors play off each other very nicely. So I think you nailed it.
Michael?
I would agree. I think this is a huge step forward compared to the multi-colors that we had at the last meeting. But like Jim, I'm trying to envision Dick trying to convince a grower that that's cranberry. And although I understand what you're saying about the popping that's in there, it almost pops like Talbot's. It's got the red door onto the thing. And we have so much architectural style with the building and with the clouds built into the building on the back. Then I just question whether or not it's okay to have less pop and to have more of the natural cranberry color, you know, more the burgundy red than the bright red. Just my 2 cents. You guys all get to make the decision. But you know, we do have uniforms that the town has. We do have, you know, the school's letterhead and all those type things that all have that more burgundy cranberry. For those that are familiar with the fire department and the chief's car versus the deputy's car, they were both purchased as cranberry, but one of them came in as orange. And it's an orange cranberry. And you can see them parked right next to each other. We always make fun of them just because it's an off tint. That this community has just have that color ingrained in their brains. You know, put all the chairs in here. That's why Dick's got a cranberry colored jacket that he's got behind him.
Oh, yes.
You know, now if that contradicts with the palette, then that's an issue. The question, I guess, to you, Matt, and I guess I'm circling back to you, is if that was darkened a few shades to get closer to a more of a burgundy red, what kind of impact would that have on the project from your architectural standpoint? Because I'm not color coordinated.
Yeah. To me, it would feel like somebody didn't have a good control over their understanding of color coordination between and I think on the interior, there's more opportunity to mitigate that because there's going to be multiple colors on the interior, and it's largely made up of paint. Paint can be any color you want. What we're dealing with are, almost given colors. Some of this is, are literally given to us, and we have to work with them. I know the block is, we selected these from a big chart, but the zinc is a fairly given color, and this is something that we kind of arrived at earlier on, and the silver, has kind of good neutral tone to it, so it works well with many colors, but you can't just kind of willy-nilly from a color theory standpoint, if you don't think about that. An art teacher might see it in the same light. You can't just pluck something out and hope that it matches with what you're trying to work with.
So from the color theory perspective, that cranberry would just be too dull.
Yeah, and it has tones in it that don't appear in the other tones. There's kind of an underlying shade that ties into darker red
last week. That is cranberry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, cranberry red, there's such a range, too. So I think that, we all have our
cranberries,
own
there's a lot of different colors of that.
view of that.
There's a cranberry in there
Right.
that's exactly that color. Not for nothing, I don't think the kids are going to go with the uniforms up to the 4 doors and be like, "Ooh, gee, this doesn't quite match." I don't think that's going to happen. I think it looks great.
Yeah.
Near the red, because it has a certain lightness to it that the iconic cranberry color doesn't. Feels more childlike. It feels livelier and funner.
I like it.
Are you saying that we can't call it cranberry?
I didn't get caught up.
I think
Matt
Michael is saying you shouldn't be trying to defend it as cranberry.
I think you should let people read into it what they want to.
It's
Matt-
really more of an orange-red. I mean, when you look at the flag, it's not that red, deep red in the flag. So, in terms of the amount, that's what I was trying to get at earlier, just trying to look at how much of that red are we going to have. And it doesn't seem to me that there's going to be an overdose, so to speak, of it by any means.
Matt, is that the same color we looked at on the 11th?
Yes,
That's the same red?
that's the one.
That was the red?
Colors.
Okay.
But what happens when you look at a color with all these other, we looked at it with the green and that deep gold color, that orange cranberry
It looked
there
different.
was, right, it
Right.
didn't stand out.
Right.
It was warmer than the other colors.
What would happen if, on some of the, you talked about signs on some of the entrances, if we decided down the road to make that a cranberry color, would you recommend against that? Because then you would have a contrast.
Yeah, I recommend trying to keep the entire palette to a minimum. And if we've done a good job getting it to a very reduced point. And, I can't control what's going to happen in the future of the building, but and many of you may not be around to make decisions, but whatever you can do to keep it consistent in the same theme, just look sharper.
Can I do something here? I don't know why Bill is here, but I don't know if you all know Bill Harriman. He's been a...
Jump in there, Dick. Thank you for doing that. For those that don't know Bill Harriman, Bill is also the chairperson of our fire station building committee. And when we set up our technical review committee to meet weekly basis with our contractors, Bill has developed a wealth of information in this whole 149 process. And as we all know, that project's coming in under budget as well. So we I don't know if we browbeat you or whatever it is, but Bill agreed to help us out on here with this. So he joins us for the weekly meetings with Ruby and Scott, myself, John Deli, and Dave Siegenthaler to meet with the architects and the designers on a weekly basis. And again, his wealth of information has been helpful in this whole process.
Bill, you haven't, I'm trying to think of the colors you dealt with on the fire station.
Well, I have to be bluntly honest with you, I'm colorblind, so I stay out of it. Craig and Cheryl did a lot of the color scheming over there. But we tried to get cranberry in there, I'll be very honest with you. As an accent color on a lot of the walls, that's, wouldn't you call that a cranberry?
Have you got any exterior cranberry color that, I'm thinking, you go by the school and we got a red, that's cranberry red. Then we go by the fire station and nope, that's a little different red. But it's, well, it can be, I mean, there's variety. By the way, Bill is a cranberry grower also, okay? We have 3 of us here, 1, 2, 3.
Well, Dick, the library, the base was supposed to be cranberry too. I don't know how that's changed over the years, but originally the design of that was the base, if you recall, of the library is supposed to be cranberry color too.
Okay. But
It's actually a good point if I could just follow up on that. You know, brighter, more saturated paint colors fade over time. And there's better paints and there's worse paints, and better ones will last longer, but they still do fade. So just keep in mind that this will, that particular color is going to change over the years to some degree. We have a good paint system in our spec, good coat system, and it will give it some nice longevity.
What is the sign made out of, Matt? The Carver Elementary.
I believe we have specified as stainless steel.
Okay. So that'll be sprayed the same as the doors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question, ask him.
okay, do we have any other comments?
Well, the
Yeah.
question was, is it going to fade and get lighter over time? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
So then would it make sense to go a little darker if that's gonna happen? Now I'm changing my thought process because of you saying that.
Good comment.
It's hard to predict what the color will be that it will fade to, and whether you'll like it or not. So I would rather start out with one that we do like, or at least have that.
And the interior of the door is going to be that same color?
I guess we haven't really thought about that so much, but it could be. Because we do own one color on the outside and a separate color for the inside.
Oh, we do, so we have that in our bids, it can be different colors in the inside, outside?
Yeah. It could be the same or it could be different. Oftentimes.
So we can open the door, this could be the reddish orange, and the other side could be the burgundy red?
That's potential. Trying to compromise there.
Leave the doors open.
Michael's not selling it by calling it reddish orange.
Yeah, that's all.
The other thing we'll have to discuss is how we're approaching the interior colors. So are you folks ready to be a consensus on this plan, or would you like to vote? Anybody opposed?
I'll make a motion to accept the color palette as presented by Matt this evening.
Second.
Okay, any other comments that you'd like to make? All right, all those in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those that are opposed?
I got one, I'm opposed to the reddish, I like the burgundy color, but that's just me.
Okay, that's good. So we're going to call John a negative vote on that one. Not that it's negative, it's an opinion, good opinion. Everything, so it's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 for, and 1 opposed.
Kelly, with John, with James here, so I'm a non-voter. I just want to go on record as I was with John.
Okay, 9 and 1. 9, okay, 9-1. So it passes. Now, we had talked about the choices of interior colors at a later time. We needed to get this meeting right away because we need to have the orders put out. Is that it on this, on the exterior materials? We talked, Ruby and myself and somebody else, was it Sarah?
Yep.
Yep. At the end of last meeting about a visit to HMFH's school in, where?
Milford.
In Milford, and they're just finishing, and it's an elementary school. And Sarah had the opportunity to visit there, and she said, it's really, what was the word you said?
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. I was going to say stunning, but 2 thumbs up are good.
It was a fantastic experience, and I was able to go inside and get a little tour and noticed a number of similarities to what some of the things that we've been discussing, and we thought it might be, if we could make it happen with Matt, something, if the committee was interested, people could go take a look at it and visit it. Of course, I can't go on either of those 2 days, but.
Yeah, so I reached out to Matt, and Matt gave me a couple days, but we may have to relook at those days, I think, just based on when they were. So I put something out to the committee looking at maybe either this Wednesday, the 25th, or Friday, the 27th, after 3:30, because we can't get into the school till after 3:30. I can no longer do the 25th this week. I could do this Friday, but I don't know if we want to look at some other dates next week just to give people more of an opportunity to plan. And Matt, I don't know if there's really a time frame for us. I mean, if we go just sometime prior to our next building meeting, that would probably work. Yes.
Certainly before, I think there's the value in it is seeing a building that has, a HMFH color palette and approach to color making in the interior, so that by the time we come to our interiors presentations, you will have that extra kind of experience to fall back on. And the other part of it is to we're looking at furniture, which I think is most useful, especially Scott. When that process happens, it will be very helpful to have seen what we've done there.
So you've been in contact with the principal in general. He's pretty open.
After schools, generally, we're very flexible. He offered for you to come during the school day and said there are these certain dates are good during the school day, but it seemed to me that from your standpoint, it might be better to do it in the
I'd rather do it in the afternoon. I don't know how the other members of the committee feel.
Yes.
So I don't know, do we want
Do
to
you
look at a date today, and maybe Matt can propose that to the principal and see if he's amenable?
I think that
If
makes
you're
sense.
talking next week, I think you have to.
Yeah, next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, and then we'll figure out what our next building meeting will be.
I was going to suggest, I'm sitting here thinking, I said it to Matthew, I'm making the decisions on the colors, interior colors. Shouldn't we have some teachers that have to live with this on the tour with us?
What we'll do is we'll invite some of the teachers, but I also wanted to share with you that, the tool that Matt shared on the video the other day, the teachers are able to view it, and I have received some very positive feedback in terms of those colors, even though those aren't the actual colors, that they felt that those were very warm. They were very pleased with what they saw in those initial colors, and there are actually quite a few colors, but I also believe some of those are similar to what we may see.
Yeah.
So I was able to look at some of the pictures that you have posted on the website from the school in Milford.
What days work better for you, Matt? General.
So Thursdays do not work because we're all here. Let's see, Monday the 6th is not good.
When do you need our next meeting, and when do you need this decision to be made, Matthew?
Well, we haven't scheduled the presentation for the colors because we need the contractor to tell us when they're going to be able to get all of to gather all of the samples and submittals that we'll need to do that. So we're still finalizing that with them. It's at least a month, maybe 2 months out.
Okay.
So there's no rush.
All right. Because one of the things we need to decide before we leave is when our next meeting would be, right?
For the committee, are the days that work better for people? So not Thursdays?
Wednesdays, yep.
Wednesdays or Tuesdays? Mondays aren't always great. I tend to have meetings back here on Mondays.
Yeah.
So Tuesdays or Wednesdays?
Or Fridays. I can do Fridays too. I don't know if people don't want to do Fridays, but.
I can do Fridays as well.
I can do Friday.
Friday stuff.
So,
Yeah, so that's
Maybe
what-
midweek is
Yeah,
better.
whatever's better.
Start with that.
That's why I'm deferring to.
Yeah.
I can be flexible. I can.
Okay.
What are these
What's
people
better
thinking?
for
We're
your
gonna get there
Whatever
four,
day
we're
we
gonna
can
be there
get the most of people to go.
3:45,
Yeah.
lose at
Let's maybe
4:30,
start with
get
Tuesdays or
home at
Wednesdays.
6:30.
I'm just looking at Tuesday the 7th. I don't know if that means anything to anybody.
And James or John or Andy, can you make
Are
any
we
of
talking
those?
about for the
Most likely, what,
The visit.
Probably
The visit.
Tuesday,
Friday-
Tuesdays, I'd
Friday
be-
just gets
Wednesday,
you
I'd have
jammed
more of a
up on the
chance
way
to be able
back.
to go.
Wednesday,
Friday's-
what about
Good, you
Monday?
get
Is that gonna be right up off 495?
February 1st or March 1st?
Yeah, right?
March 1st?
yeah,
Is
four
that
and a
too
half
late?
Is that too late?
No, they said we have 2 months.
March 1st, too late?
Maybe the school.
It only
department
bogs
will
up
give
by
us a supper.
95.
No, I don't believe it's too late.
Ruby threw out March 1st. So Wednesday gives plenty of time for us to plan for that.
It's fine.
Works-
March
Right now, it works
1st,
on my
it's a-
schedule.
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday,
What time are we going?
afternoon, after.
Matt said the
after
earliest
school.
3:30 because that's when they get out of school, but we could make it 4 if that was better for people for work schedules.
So,
Is
March,
that being there then, or leaving here?
Being there then.
Being there then.
Being there
we're
then.
gonna leave here
Saying
about
the later
3.
the better.
It's an hour ride up there,
Yeah, so
yeah.
leave here at
It's an
3.
hour ride up to Milford from
Could
there.
we, I mean, can we plan on that leaving time? What time we'll get there will depend, but if we leave at 3 kind of thing, is that,
Leave at 3, get there by 4.
yeah.
I think that would have to be the plan, right?
Leave,
And I would count on spending an hour there.
So maybe 4 o'clock on March 1st?
But leave at 3, get there at 4.
Yeah.
Is it Milton or Milford?
be there at 4 PM.
Are you talking
What
about
town is this again?
Milford.
Milford? All right, so 495.
Option to-
Yeah.
Yeah, you just go right up
As long as it's
495.
not up Route 3, we're good to go.
Right.
Exit 19 on
Four
495.
o'clock
Actually really
on any
easy.
afternoon, yeah. Yeah.
That would be a lot better than Route 3,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it has
Very
a-
much so.
Yeah, it's elementary.
all right?
This is awesome.
Yeah, that would give us the opportunity to reach out to teachers. I mean, do you want us to organize some type of transportation, or are we all just going on our own?
And I think we went
Yeah,
on a
and
bus. I
carpool.
mean, we went on a bus last
Ah.
time.
I would take my own transportation because I'm going to go past my house and drive past back to my house to go back to my house. So honestly, I'll go on my own, but
I'll be the bus monitor.
I can also organize transportation. I can do both. I have no problem trying to, if people want to take a school bus, I have no problem doing that.
I think if it's available, I think that might be
Right,
kind of fun.
we'll organize a school
Field
bus
trip.
for March 1st.
No singing.
And
What?
so then maybe you'll convince me to
Right.
take the bus with you.
So where would
Drive your own
we,
car.
where would we meet for that, Scott? If we're
If we were going to take a bus,
at the school
we'll just meet at the
department?
elementary school.
Elementary school.
Or the elementary
Yeah,
school?
we'll
Okay.
be on the circle. Bus will come in, pick us up.
Don't park there.
Parking car,
Just
parking
stand out
to the
front.
side.
Yeah,
You gotta
he wants
park
to
across
stop
the
at the end
street.
of the
Yeah,
Okay, Elman, all right. We got it. March 1st, Wednesday, we leave the elementary school at 3 o'clock, and you'll probably have to park across the street at the old Sedell.
You won't have to park across the street.
No?
Just kidding.
Okay.
Oh, 3 o'clock would be close, actually. 3 o'clock's, actually, 3 o'clock's not great for the bus circle
Wanna
at the
make it
elementary
later
school.
then?
We really
March
probably should be someplace else.
High
Yep,
school, maybe?
March 1st,
Oh,
Wednesday,
3. I mean,
The
3
teachers-
o'clock.
The teachers are gonna be there, yeah, so we'll
the
go.
buses will.
elementary school.
Yeah. Elementary school, 3 o'clock.
Later, that's fine.
The last bus in the circle.
Right, we'll do it.
Yeah, if you have
The
to do it.
circle parking lot in front of the, yep, okay, we got it. All right. We need to establish a meeting for the next building committee.
So, Mr. Chairman, we're just talking, you know, we're at least 6 weeks away from getting the stuff from the contractor. It could be as long as a month.
Yep.
So the thought is I'm going to suggest 2 dates, 2 weeks apart. That maybe like March
6 weeks.
15th and March 29th. Those are 2 Wednesdays. And pencil both of them in, or we pick 2 other days that week in case we have to cancel one or the other.
So March 15th and what was it, Michael?
29th.
29th.
Again, I'm just throwing these dates out,
Yep.
but the next meeting is contingent upon when we get the stuff from the contractor. So to lock one in and only have one, I don't want to have to cancel if we don't have to. I'd rather just have 2, and then as time gets closer, we lock one in and,
And go to the other.
yes.
Okay. All right, is there any other business, new business, concerns?
Sorry.
Yep.
I'd prefer not to do the 15th. I have a meeting the 3rd Wednesday of every month. That's the 3rd Wednesday, and it's just a meeting that I've had a lot of conflicts with. It's the Carver Cares mobilizing the community group that's working on the substance issue, and I'd
That's
I
important.
personally prefer to not schedule something on that
You
date.
got another choice
As a
besides the
conflict.
29th, guys?
Follow the 22nd and the 29th?
That works for me, thank you.
Okay. All right, I guess we're good. And guess we'll do look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay.
Second?
Okay. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 And unanimous vote. We're adjourned.